Alright, so this is part 3 on how I basically make my videos for YouTube. We're going to focus now on gameplay footage on a TV. As you can see, here I am on my PlayStation 3, my main menu here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to, in this video, adjust the camera for optimal gameplay footage because once you start recording on these cameras these days, you can't adjust that kind of stuff. You have to adjust it before you start recording, which is really a hassle in my opinion. Why you can't do on-the-fly adjustment is pretty stupid. I think every camera should have that feature, but unfortunately, I don't make cameras, so I'm not there to tell them how to do their jobs. Obviously, they need to figure out how to do it for themselves. That's what they get paid for. But anyway, what I would do normally is, alright, so I'm here, I'm going to adjust my tripod on my table, and the funny thing is, my table is cool, because see how it has these lines that go horizontal, and this one main line that goes vertical right in the middle of the table? I've actually mastered, from the positioning of my table to the positioning of my TV, where exactly the feet need to be in order to get a really good centered shot. So I'm going to do that right now, and then what I'm going to do is, hold on, I'm going to put the camera down for half a second while I twist the top of my tripod here to face the TV. And then what I'm going to do is, alright, see what I did? All I did is I twisted the top of my tripod. It now faces the TV. Here's the adapter that you put to the bottom of your camera, so I'm going to screw that on, like so. I know this is exciting for everyone. It's very exciting for me. This is one of the greatest moments of my existence, I'm sure, the screwing of the adapter. I'm going to write about this in the next Bible. Anyway, so now I have the adapter on. Now I'm going to put the adapter inside of the tripod. So we're going to do that. You're going to go along with me. So like that, now you have your thing pretty much, and now like I said, this is for my TV. And as you see, even now it's not perfect. I have to fart with it a little bit more. You have to think in your head, when I zoom in, is this going to be centered or is this not going to be centered? So you kind of have to fuck around with your camera the first time you're going to start recording a video series, because it has to be centered well. And you're not going to get it perfect, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've tried. I've been doing this for a year and a half. I've been farting around with different cameras, different tripods. I never get it perfect. I always end up where something around the border gets cut off once I zoom in. So you notice in some games like Modern Warfare 2, there's supposed to be a map up in the upper left-hand corner, and sometimes the map gets shaven off. Or at the bottom of the screen, you have your dash bar where it shows how far you've run, and sometimes that gets cut off. You're never going to get it perfect. Some games like Heavy Rain, you luck out, because Heavy Rain didn't have too much near the borders of the screen. When it was loading, it had a piece of origami here, and you could fit that. Up here, it would say loading or whatever, but there weren't like icons or health meters or anything all over the screen that got cut off. So I kind of lucked out when it came to that game. However, you're never going to really get that lucky, unfortunately, so enjoy it while you can. So now what I'm going to do, all I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to stop the video, zoom in, and I'm going to start the video again, and then we're going to fart around a little bit, and I'm going to show you how in-game, how you can adjust things to basically work with your camera better. Now keep in mind, the one thing I can't show you is how to adjust your camera's brightness settings, scene settings, and so forth. Remember, I've already said, be sure to set your zoom to infinite zoom. If you set it on any kind of other zoom besides infinite level zoom, whenever something comes towards your camera, see right now my camera's not fucking up. It's staying at the same level of zoom and it looks good. It's because I put it on infinite zoom. If this weren't on infinite zoom and I went like this, the camera would say, oh my god, something's moving towards the camera, and it would try to adjust for it and it would be all fucking blurry. And so when you're playing a game and a virtual hand comes towards the screen, the camera can't discern between that hand and a real hand, and it thinks something's going to hit the screen, so it tries to adjust and it fucks up your whole gameplay. The focus of it, that is. So infinite zoom. Brightness settings, I would say on any camera you're probably going to have to lower them a bit. The default setting might be a little bit too big because it assumes you're filming real life, not a video game. And also scene modes, fuck around with the scene modes some. The default scene mode is almost never going to work. What you're going to want to do is actually, what the hell do I want to say now? What you're going to want to do with your scene mode is set it to a scene mode that's probably an indoor scene mode. And then once you have it to that, fuck around with them a little bit. Like I said, I had 3 indoor scene modes. There was, like, what the hell was it? fluorescent light 1, 2, and 3 were my 3 indoor scene modes, and 1 and 2 look really weird, and 3 looks perfect. It like adjusts the colors properly for every game. It looks just like the colors are on my screen. So I don't understand why some things are good like that and some things aren't. I don't know, you know, every camera is different. Like I said, this camera that I'm using right now, the HD camera, has a lot of good scene modes that work with video games. The camera that I used for the first video, which was the non-HD one, to be honest, didn't. If you watch my Resident Evil 5 playthrough last year, some of the videos look amazingly good, and some of them look like utter shit. It all depended on if the game showed that I was outside or inside and what was going on. So every camera is different. Alright, so I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to zoom in, and then we're going to continue.